Hello everyone. You're looking at paperwork here that claims Pamela C. Parker is an assistant district attorney, and these probate filings that were electronically filed while the court section was closed. This is a continuation of a video addressing possibly fraudulent papers that were filed to have me kidnapped. And then basically what they're using is court process, or the appearance of court process, to get away with this. And this is fraud. But these papers are fraudulent. I will put a link to the first video. And then we're going to look at here that I didn't address in the first video of a fake doctor who filled out falsified paperwork, used a name of a person I don't even know, but it says here that the person is the assistant district attorney of the juvenile division here in Wichita, Kansas. Indicated in prior videos, and he files it with the juvenile division when I'm a full-grown adult. And you go at the bottom by Pamela. You can see at the bottom here, there's no actual signature because they're claiming it's electronically filed, but they're saying it's approved by Pamela C. Parker, Assistant District Attorney. Alright, so what I'm going to do is we're going to go back a little bit to the beginning of the video I have up here. And treat it like this. And the reason why we're going to go at the beginning here is you can see that this appears to be legitimately filed to some degree. The case number and everything. So we're going to close that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to load up here. As you can see, this is the prosecutor's office for the city of Wichita. And we're going to look at the list of all the staff directory. And basically what these people were doing is trying to get me committed when I don't have, it's all one-sided. It's from probably the paternal side of my child's family, because they want to cover up getting away with kidnapping. And again, they use fraudulent paperwork. The birth daughter, with the birth father, excuse me, my daughter, was kidnapped. It's being covered up. It is linked to Epstein. And as you can see, Pamela C. Parker is not on any staff directory. So she is not a assistant district attorney. And we'll take a look, see if she's in their directory. And North Hydraulic, that's the YMCA. Again, no name for her being any directory or staff member with the city of Wichita. Let's check with Sedgwick County, see if she's the assistant district attorney. All right, and can meet the district attorney. You can meet the staff. Oh, wait, let's meet the staff because she's supposedly an assistant. Oh, they don't even use that title at all. And here we have Ann Swagel, who is the deputy district attorney. Ron Pascal, deputy district attorney, who supervises the juvenile division office of the district attorney. And of course, the district attorney is Bennett. Let's go down a little bit further. We have chief attorneys, but again, no assistant attorneys. Alice Osborne, Aaron Reitenbach, Shannon Wilson, Mark Jordan, Randall Hubert, Robert Short, Boyd Isherwood, Mandy Schaaf, Donna Longsworth, and Margaret McIntyre. So, as you can see, there is no Pamela C. Parker. And now let's go back to my YouTube channel here, and we're gonna turn the volume down because I don't want And I'd like to point out that Crystal Marshall is a common name in the state. There's probably about 20 different women who share my name. So there's no middle initial there either. Some of the paperwork misspelt my name. And the person who fills it out is a woman I've never met. I don't even know her. So this is a clear example of legal abuse. And there's really no proof actually that this Sankey Sachia Piper actually did the paperwork. Anybody could have borrowed her name and put it in there for Via Christi to use. As you can see, they're saying I live at Via Christi. I don't. I had not been there. I think briefly one more time just to do a medical test that was outsourced by Grace Medical. But it had nothing to do with anything like this. But as you can see, there's no, and here as you can see, she claims my attorney is this Peter C. Hagen at 310 West Central. So let's look at, see if there is at least a lawyer in the city with the name of Pamela C. Parker. Wichita. And she is a lawyer, a family law lawyer. She is not a district attorney. And look at this. She is at 301 North Main Street in the same building as Peter C. Hagen. Now, I don't want to accuse these attorneys. It could be that somebody is filling out fraudulent paperwork using their names. But I did contact Peter C. Hagen, and they refused to give me any copies of any attorney-client privilege. In fact, they said they don't even have it, but they won't cooperate. They will not give me the name of the paralegal in their office. So whoever this woman is, she's not a district attorney with anyone that we can find. In fact, her area practices domestic relations, litigation, and criminal law defense. So if she's a defense attorney, why would she be a district attorney? It would be a conflict of interest. So somebody's lying on those papers at Via Christi, and they used them to kidnap me against my will. They injected me with something. This is only a few weeks, by the way, before COVID-19 was publicized. And I'm not saying that that's what they did to me. What I do know is that they may have caused heart damage. I now have some kind of parasite all over my legs, my stomach, and my arms. And they continue to deliberately deny me care. So it looks like that this is just harassment. Probably going back to the Cotillion case, which I have up again on my YouTube channel, where I reported sexual battery and assault that was arranged at a Breakin' Benjamin concert. And of course, Breakin' Benjamin is involved somehow in kidnapping my daughter along with Thomas's family, because they have contracts with his family through New England Audio Tech. And it was a member of New England Audio Tech and Cotillion that had me deliberately assaulted sexually. Not battery. There was no rape involved, but what they did is they held me down, kicked me in the back, and tore my bra off, and they injured my back. And then they also, I guess, knew Lance Schumann, who was a part of the Cotillion, who didn't tell me that when he had invited me to go there. He also arranged for me, because I was supposed to compete in America's Got Talent, and I was supposed to, just work on my training and then compete. And his family just can't have that. So they decided to have me kidnapped and a whole other things and attempt to murder me. I'm pretty certain that it is his family and their business behind this. So this is what he's allowed to get away with. He's allowed to get away with all sorts of abuses. And they cover it up for him because his family, he was a former informant with the Secret Service. So the Secret Service is allowed to rape you. Their informants are allowed to rape you, steal your babies. And of course, we know Epstein was involved with the Secret Service. And they're also allowed to access now adoption files of your entire family so they can genocide you. Falsify court papers. Install your in-laws on the United States Supreme Court. Thomas Aaron Clark is also related to Kavanaugh, so they can block my cases and forever terrorize me. So the United States government, in my opinion, is a criminal organization. But, so this is just some of the stuff that they keep pulling off on me. So I'm not allowed to compete. I'm not allowed to have an education without his family harassing me. If I try to report a terrorist cell, he'll try to twist it around and make me look like I'm involved with him when I have nothing to do with him. A whole bunch. So they're racketeering cases. And it's a pretty terrible family. They should be shut down, their contracts revoked. And this video up here is just the Blake David Hampe is the nephew of Richard A. Hampe, who trafficked my daughter to Don and Bob Milram. And as you can see, he is a convicted pedophile who tried to stab a black man to death out in Oregon. And right there, that a judge is not allowed to be a part of any clubs like that. So this is just pure proof that the United States government is absolutely out of control and is a criminal organization. Your cities are criminal organizations at this point because they don't know how to enforce the law. Instead, they commit crimes and fabricate things. This is just another aspect of the harassment of stalking on Facebook, hacking into accounts, impersonating family members, posting simulated child pornography on my wall just to harass me. You can tell me that this isn't all related. And in the corner up here, you can see that this is all about them getting away with kidnapping. And of course, if you're pro se, you have no rights because the judges think you are trash automatically. They think they're so high and mighty above you, so they can get away with rape, guys. This is Kansas. Kansas loves rapists and pedophiles. And in fact, there's even been cases of police officers involved in harming children like that. All right, so let's see if Sedgwick County has any. As you can see, there is no record of Pamela C. Parker, though, being a member of any district attorney. Maybe she was in the past. I don't think so. It would have said that in her profile that she was a former assistant district attorney. They do not even use that title here in Wichita or the state. It's usually the district attorney, and then the deputy, and then chief attorneys. So this is actually fraudulent paperwork, and Via Christie is involved in doing this. I'll give you a copy of who they are. They have St. Francis there. So they may be involved in medical billing fraud too on behalf of these people. But it was definitely Via Ascension Christie that did do this. They should have known it was fraudulent paperwork. But we'll look at another thing too. Most of the Kansas probate law is actually repealed. So we know that it's all fraudulent. And you can see right here, Article 3, jurisdiction powers not in active use. This is Kansas Statutes 59, probate court. They have not been active use because they are repealed as of January 10th, 1977, which is kind of funny. It's my birthday. That's just a coincidence, I'm sure. But you can look at, if they don't have jurisdiction powers and they're in the middle of fixing things, then, I mean, of course, there is state jurisdiction anyway, but as you can tell, those are repealed laws. And then we'll look at this up. That paperwork also claimed I had a guardianship over me from ComCare when I've never visited ComCare. I've never signed up for services with them. They wouldn't have any guardianship over me. I've never met with any of their staff. But as you can see, their entire law is practically repealed. When you have this many repealed law, then you could probably argue that the rest of it isn't valid until they fix their probate jurisdiction problem. This is repealed in 2002. So let's look up for Article 29, care and treatment for mentally ill persons. Well, that's an assumption right there. And as you can see, all these laws are repealed. So the paperwork that they used were based on repealed laws. And you still cannot get an attorney unless you're rich in the United States anymore. All of these are repealed. Look at this. Repealed, repealed, repealed. Because it's not valid law. It's not constitutional. This is repealed as far back as 1996. So apparently they got a problem with their probate law, even worse than perhaps New Hampshire. Look at that. Repealed, repealed, repealed. So Via Christi is using fake orders based on repealed laws that are not active. Okay. In those papers, of course, let's say that it was valid. There's no petition to determine whether I have a mental illness. It was just repealed law. So they're doing healthcare fraud. And they're even given false diagnosis, probably because they get all kinds of Medicaid money and everything else. So they're making up. And they were doing it to other people there too as well. But these papers are definitely questionable. And by the way, bleeding into your legs. We'll show you a gallery here. So I get a lot of photos, people. Here we go. This is a photo I took. As you can see, I'm bleeding in my legs. And what was causing that is, again, in my arms. These things are in my arms as well. They made my hair fall out. And as you can see, this is in my back. Now, when I was at Via Christi, they tried to say I did this to myself. I can barely reach my back. Obviously, how am I going to do that to my own back and legs? This is more here. Bleeding in the legs. Hair loss. And then, of course, I pulled these out also of my area. This is what I have. And, of course, the father of my daughter, who claims that he's going to become an MD, threatened to destroy my intestines. This is not the only thing that showed up. I've also showed up with these. So I've so far found at least 6 different species of worms. And the only, well, I shouldn't say the only conclusatory, because there could be other reasons, but it's very rare that you end up with that many different species unless it came from a lab. I do not know when. It's possible it was done at Grace Medical, but I don't want to make any claims to that. And this is just another letter of email showing extortion. So I know it's his family and him doing this. I'm pretty certain that he hired Don and Bob Nilram to kidnap my daughter. And I do have paperwork, again, video up there showing that they are involved in that. Unsigned papers. And this woman claimed to be a guardian ad litem when she was not on any lists. This Lenora Baim is also related to Nazi war criminals, Austria and Germany. And because they have evidence of neo-Nazis involved in this, she's also had a Hague Convention filed on her in another case for trying to steal children illegally as well. So she had a Hague Convention. And so, yeah, even me, despite going to Interpol, and then they're trying to say, by the way, that my daughter is not my daughter, I'm not her mom. And this is just more cyber stalking from a Susan Brown. And that's just me giving her a warning. And that's Susan Brown. I don't know this woman. I don't even know if, apparently she knows Chris Houghton. I do know a Chris Houghton when I was little. So if these people are involved in doing this to me, then they need to go to jail. But this is just the kind of harassment that I get in. And by the way, I've never been proven to be an unfit mother. I never got charged with any crime. These people are kidnappers. This is the second time that our family has been separated, which makes it genocide. So these people are committing genocide. And since I know Chris Houghton, and he's probably involved with Susan Brown, I will be reporting him and pressing international charges on these people for kidnapping and genocide. They're doing it because my dad is of Jewish ancestry.